I think when you watch number 9, I mean that dude is a freak athlete. So you always got to know where he's at. And number 91 plays as hard as anybody I've seen. He reminds me a lot of Grady Jarrett. A little bit bigger, not quite as low to the ground and compact, but he has that type of motor. They move well. Their defensive ends are strong at the point of attack. They get off of blocks well. They all rally to the football. They're DBs, they get up in your face and they jam you. They're not afraid to play man coverage. And then their safeties are tacklers. So they do a lot of things well. Hadn't been able to really pinpoint any weakness on their defense.
I hate to say it, but are you kind of looking forward to seeing somebody play a little press man?
Oh, of course. I mean, as a receiver, that's what you want. You want to be challenged. But at the end of the day, too, they got to go make the play. And when you watch it, it's very similar to what we go against every day in practice with McKenzie and those guys. And in practice, for us to succeed, it comes down to making the competitive plays. So yes, you like to see man coverage because it gives you an opportunity that if there is a breakdown in technique, you could have a big play. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to those guys on the perimeter making the one-on-one plays.
What's been most beneficial about having this extended period off before such a big game?
Well, the biggest thing is trying to get our guys healthy. You know, obviously with Joe going out last week and Jake going out and then Norton being out just gives us some time to kind of nurse those guys back. But then also getting an opportunity to go back and really study all of their games from last year just to see if there is a certain flavor that the defensive coordinator likes to have based in personnel packages. So we've had a little bit of time to go back and really look at and get a good understanding for Van Gorder because he's a little bit different than when we played him back when he was at Auburn. A little bit different scheme. So just give us some time to really get a feel for him, but then also making sure that we don't go overboard and try to put too much stuff in. That's kind of the downside of having a lot of time because you can overanalyze and overcomplicate things. So it's been a good. Coach Sweeney does a great job of handling the schedule too, by making sure that obviously we got to get our work in, but not giving us too much time to experiment.
Tagging on to that with the freshmen that we have on the team now, the extra time have they had a little bit more of a chance to soak in the playbook?
That they have, and again that's a process. Because again, each week as we go through the season, we're going to add a little bit more and bring some things out that we haven't repped since camp because we see some defensive structures that may be beneficial for us to pull those out. So again, even though they're getting some time to dive in, we're still pulling some things out that they may not have seen. So they got to go back and refresh themselves. But it's a good opportunity for those guys to get some more experience.
Going back to Van Gorder in 2012, it looked like they played maybe more of a base defense back then. He's a little bit more exotic in his blitz packages now. Is that kind of what you're seeing, that he changes it up more?
Right. When he was at Auburn, it was more 4 down, more of a two safety structure. They're still going to base out of a 2 shell, but they're going to be a lot more aggressive. They got some really exotic odd packages where they bring pressure, where they'll stand big guys up in space and try to get them matched up on the back, which is a matchup advantage for them. Play a lot more man coverage than we saw in the past. So he's got the personnel, and again, they're still going to be sound. They're going to take some chances, but they're going to have the athletes on the back end to be able to make up for any chances that they take up front.
With a 16-day layoff, is there any worry about just sharpness early on in the game, that every single play is going to matter, just making sure you come out and you're sharp as you need to be?
Oh, of course. I mean, that's the key to this game is going to be execution because you're going to have 2 evenly matched teams for the most part. And so the key is who can get off to a fast start, who can play at the highest level, and who can execute at the highest level. So again, there's a little bit of a concern, but we feel good about the preparation we've had thus far. We still got another week to continue to prepare. But yes, that is going to be a point of emphasis that we got to come out, we got to start fast, but we got to execute and take advantage of the opportunities.
Kind of game.
Big
stage.
I think so. I think the first time we saw him was down in Athens. Big stage. And he performed, and looking at Louisville last week, he, with the exception of the pass that he missed there to Jordan Leggett, probably played a pretty good game, ran the ball well. So I think he's primed and ready to roll, and obviously he's came to Clemson because he wanted to play in games like this to have an opportunity to compete against the top programs in the country on the biggest stage. So I'm pretty sure that he's going to be excited and ready to play.